Hey, what's up? I've just finished breaking down Sephora's marketing funnel and reviewing all of their CRO, and I wanted to do a quick video to give you an overview of what they're doing. So Sephora turnover is something like $16 billion annually, and they have 18.5 million active app users, which is just mind-boggling when you think about it. And some of the stuff that they're doing on their website is really clever. And we're about to take a look at that. But the thing I found in doing a deep dive into how they've set things up is they're actually leaving some money on the table. Their website and their stack is set up really well for mobile, but there's a little bit left wanting on desktop, and like they don't have a lot of desktop traffic relative. It looks like it's around 20%. So what I'm going to show you is what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong. We'll try and get this done in 5 minutes. Let's go. All right, let's jump into it. So I'm going to start with some of the things that Sephora is doing really well and that I like about their store. I've seen a few brands have this like big slider at the top. It's not something new, but it does let them offer a bunch of different promotions, which is cool. And that's something that Sephora needs to push on because their catalog is so big. One of their main goals is to give customers different ways to access their catalog quickly. So they're doing that through the promotions at the top, and these change all the time. I saw them change yesterday, actually, between when I did the breakdown and looking at this again. Then they jump into the second set of offers in gifting. They're pushing on seasonal things because we're coming into Christmas now, so it makes sense for them to do seasonal offers. They have a gift finder. They have new offers down here. So rather than saying, hey, here's eyeliner and here's foundation and stuff like that, they're giving customers different avenues to go through and almost segment themselves in terms of what they're looking for. So it's like a use case thing rather than a product catalog break apart, which we see a lot of brands do that. Temu do this, IKEA do this, Nike do this. It's a really common way to get people to push down from the funnel from the homepage. So they're doing really well there. And then they've got layers here. So they've got recommended for you. And one of the big things Sephora do really well is personalization. So as you go through and visit products, they build a profile around who you are and what you're looking at. And then they show that everywhere. They really push for you to sign up for the app as well. So they've got a beauty pass, which is connected to the app. They've got like a virtual makeup try on thing, which is connected to the app. They at every step that they have the opportunity, they try and push customers towards the app. And I'll just jump onto the breakdown over here. It makes sense when you have a look at what you can access through the app. So they have this beauty pass, and the beauty pass is like free stuff that you can get when you unlock enough points. So by signing up for the app, by having an account, you get exclusive deals, you get points, you get free stuff. So Sephora have done this really well. I don't think I've actually seen a loyalty program as mature and creative as Sephora. And it makes sense for them because the beauty industry, makeup industry it's one of those things where the products are consumable and people go through a lot of them and they have to keep buying them. So if you can do that at the same time as buying high quality stuff and getting a discount and earning points, then all of those things line up. And this is one of the reasons why Sephora has been really successful. So just jumping back to their homepage, they keep going with these different segmentation offers. So they've got the new arrivals, which is getting people excited about stuff that they may not have seen, which is one of those things you need to do if you've got a lot of returning traffic. And then we go down into the other ways to start browsing. So if you're not sure where to start, Sephora are giving you a wealth of opportunities to line up what you're trying to do on the store with ways to enter the catalog. They've got more trending products. They've got brand breakdowns. They've got favorites. They've got featured, and then they go into some blog articles. So the homepage segmentation is done really well, but at the same time, if we're looking globally, I actually think there's quite a lot of room to improve the navigation. So this is, in my opinion, not the best way to do a navigation. I think it's okay because it's like pretty simple. But because they have such a big catalog and a lot of this text is not like, there's not really a hierarchy to it because the subheadings here are the same size as the headings up here. So at a glance, it's like, man, that's a lot of information. I'm not even really taking anything in. I do want to find my way into the catalog, but I think there's a much better way to do this. And this is a challenge for any store that has a lot of SKUs. And the thing is that Sephora do this quite well on the mobile version. Like it's better anyway, just the way that it's laid out. But the rule of thumb is try to have as few top level categories as possible and make it easy for customers to go through and check out what they're looking for. So just by contrast, I did a breakdown for IKEA a few weeks ago, and these guys do a really good job of breaking down their catalog. It's a different use case, obviously, because their products are visually quite distinct, but the way they do it is they have these visual items in a horizontal scroller, and then you can jump into one, and then it goes down into these like simple text only options with an accompanying picture. So Sephora could do a bit of a better job there. So let's jump down into a collection. Again, collections, there's some stores out there that do a really good job of presenting their product images and presenting product cards from the collection page. And I don't think Sephora are quite there with this. Like I think their options are, there's a lot of options to work through in terms of the filters. But they're not styled super nicely. They're not easy to use. You have to scroll down a long way to actually access all of the filter items. By contrast, if we look at Nike, if I jump into, so Nike do a really good job of this. For starters, their product cards are very visual and very big, and they've consolidated their information to just these 3 lines. They don't have badges. They just have they just use a different hierarchy and different color scheme. They've got some selector options. The filters are quite compact. So comparing that to Sephora, it's like these don't look as good. They're not taking up as much of the page. They've got this clunky add to bag wording, which I think could be a lot better. Gymshark do a really good job of this, where when you hover over the product, there's no add to bag. There's just an option to add your sizing. I do like Sephora's gifting system, wish list system. That's pretty good. But yeah, some of the layout here, like the fact that they've got pagination on the recommended for you, it just feels a little bit, it doesn't feel smooth, it doesn't feel clean, it feels like a bit of a broken experience. So a bit of room to improve there for Sephora. But again, if you look at this on mobile, way better. Like there's no clunky arrows, there's no pagination system. It feels a lot smoother. They've compacted their filter system into these buttons. So yeah, I think most of what Sephora do is really good for mobile, and it's not as good for desktop. Now I've zoomed out a bit. So let's jump into an actual product. So the products are fine. I don't think there's a lot to be said here. They've kept it really simple, which is a technique that we've seen work quite well for some brands. You don't need to say a lot about these products. They do a lot of the storytelling through the visual product cards. And then the rest of the page is pretty simple. But yeah, I think there's probably, again, just a little bit of room to get some of the more important information further up the page, because what we see is when you get past the first fold, you lose somewhere between kind of 25 to 50% of your visitors. So if there's anything on the page that you think people need to know to make a purchasing decision, you need to get it up the top of the page. And Temu do a really good job of this. They shove everything up the top and they counter a lot of the objections. There's not a lot of content here to counter objections. I mean, Sephora push really hard on free shipping, which is great. But outside of that, there's not a lot to counter what the objections are that customers may have. Reviews are good. I think they've done pretty well here. There's not a lot of UGC. I think that's something that they could probably lean on a little heavier, but by and large, this is okay. There's one weird mechanism. So adding to bag, you can add a product and have a mini cart appear on desktop. But if you do the same thing on mobile, if I refresh the page because it's gone all wonky, see if this works. Add to bag. Yeah, so I've seen this on both my emulated mobile view and my phone. The bag, I don't know if this is a technical problem for Sephora's website, but the bag doesn't show up, so it doesn't show you what's actually been added to your cart, which is a bit odd. Everything from here on in is really well optimized. So yeah, you've hit free shipping, which is a bit of a funny message, funny wording for Sephora. But from here, they do a good job of pushing people towards the beauty pass and getting them to sign up for the app, and just offering a pretty straight path to checkout. Sephora don't use Shopify, and their checkout is a little bit non-standard. I imagine they've tested this, but they have 5 steps. You kind of end up skipping step 4, but they have 5 steps on the way to checkout, which Shopify have done a mountain of research into this, and Shopify checkouts are just one page with all of the fields consolidated into one view, and that seems to work the best. But Sephora obviously have tested this. Well, I hope they have, and they've found that breaking it down is a better approach because they really want to push people towards signing up for an account. They don't want to have them check out as a guest because it means they can't build a profile, they can't sell to them as effectively, they can't push new offers and deals to them. So they really want to get them signing up for an account so they can get them onto the app and like have them as a returning customer. So yeah, a few good things for Sephora, a few not so good things. I've added much more detail into the CRO breakdown, along with information on their SEO approach, their meta ads, the landing page that they're driving traffic to from ads, their tech breakdown. I go a little bit into their virtual makeup engine, and then there's some other resources that you can get. So hopefully this was useful. Thank you for watching, and see ya.